pleasant good afternoon. You are listening to the Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, and we are presenting to you this afternoon the Relationship and Marriage Hour. We are so happy to be back with you, and we have in the studio today Dr. Alvin Hepburn, our co host, and yours truly. And we will be talking about dealing with blended family challenges. And we know that this it can be very challenging, of course, when it's a couple. We're talking about a couple coming together, and both or one of them are bringing in children from a previous relationship. So, if both of you are bringing in children, we know that first of all, dealing with what may have caused the split can just be magnified in a relationship. But we believe that dealing with blended family doesn't have to be challenging. You can work it together, and usually it's when a couple is coming together and there are blended families involved. Your first option should be to decide how you would like to see your relationship with the blended family and the children. Decide how you would like to see it. Because you cannot just go into a relationship with a blended family, Dr. Alvin, and not sit down and determine how this is going to look. How are we going to deal with it? If that is not done, then we are looking for problems. So, just as we have to sit down and decide what we want to see in a relationship, a marriage, we must do the same thing when there is a blended family. Pay close attention to what you are about to enter into. And Dr. Alvin, you may want to greet the audience and maybe share a little bit or tell them how you feel about this topic that we're about to unfold today.
Well, good afternoon to all, and it is a privilege, as always, for me to be here on this broadcast on the Relationship and Marriage Hour with you, Dr. MacDonald. And this is a very touchy subject that we have embarked on for today. Um, I think it is a needed topic because this is reality for many persons in our society. And however, it doesn't matter to that great extent uh, as to how the family was before. It is how this family will behave moving forward. And what I mean, and you started to touch on it, is husband and wife needs to sit down and decide what they want. What are their goals? What is their agenda? How does this family look? How they want this family to look. And once they have agreed to that, then they must adhere to it and enforce that.
Hmm.
And that also needs to be communicated to the children, um, so that they can know this is our family moving forward, and this is how this family will operate. Because, Doc, I think though that it may be different if uh, a loved one had died
Hmm.
than it was if father and mother divorced.
Yeah.
Be, because now the dynamics are different.
Mm.
Because in a divorce case, I won't go spend time with my daddy. You ain't my real daddy. I won't go spend time with him. However, if daddy is passed, even though yes, I know you're not my real daddy, um, I can't go spend time with him. And if you want to do that role after, after the healing, I may
Mhm.
let that happen. But boy, it is hard for a wound to heal if it's always opening.
Mm.
Because if I got to spend this week with mommy, next week with daddy, um, that for children, that's a lot to deal with. That's a whole lot to deal with. So blended family, this dynamic, doc, if the husband and wife are not on the same page, can be a detriment to their relationship.
Dr. Alvin, you hit the ball right out of the park because, of course, I agree with you. If it's a deceased parent and now you're going into a stepfather, um, it's different, or stepmother. It's different than if
Mhm.
your parents are both alive.
Yeah.
And I believe, Doc, this is where problems come in with relationships
Hmm.
because I mean you took it right to the point, right? If the couple are not on the same page, first and foremost, let's put the ex on the side. If
Hmm.
the current parents are not on the same page, then you are looking for problems,
Hmm.
and it's going to start with problems. Doc.
Hmm.
So if you're dealing with something that you have not sat down, consider what you want to see, how you're going to raise these children, how you're going to be fair across the board with your biological and your adopted child that is now coming in the relationship. If you are not prepared to deal straight across the board, then you're starting off with problems.
Hmm.
And I believe that is where we find ourselves sometimes, or sometimes you may see the mother may show a little preference with one
Hmm.
child. And even if she's not showing it, Dr. Alvin, because that child is already hurting and she is just given to one and not explaining to the other, then already that child is taking on what he's or she is seeing as,
Hmm.
oh, she favor her child more than she favor
She
me.
favor me. Yes.
And here is where we have another problem because that child then began to feel rejected.
Hmm.
And as that child grows, that child is living with a attitude of trying to measure up to that other child. So
Hmm.
if we do not deal with it correctly, we will be damaging those children.
Hmm. Yes, we would. Doc, I spoke with a friend a few years ago, and this was before Tanya and I were already married, but we hadn't started having children yet. And the friend said this to me, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tanya was there too. She said, if y'all two don't mean each other any good, break up this relationship, even though you're all married. Break it up before you start having children.
Yes.
And I
So
asked, I said, why would you say that? And she said, listen to me and listen to me good. Nobody will love your children like you would love your children.
exactly.
They could talk it, but there is a bond that is there between a mother and her child,
Hmm.
because you carry that child for 9 months. You know listen, here in the Bahamas, I don't know how it is all across the world, but in the Bahamas, don't care how bad that child is, anything go wrong, that mother can say, not my good son, not
Hmm.
my good daughter.
Yes.
Why? Be because you carry that child for not, you nurture that child,
Hmm.
and then as a father, you were there, you to help bring up that child, and you
Yes.
go the extra mile. I even look at it now, Doc, that I just have to ask my wife sometime what's going on, because she'll get up and she'll cook for the children, make sure the children straight, and I'm like,
Oh,
but what about you?
yes.
Keep on the I was like, listen, in order for them to get to where they need to go, they need you, you know.
Yeah. So you got to take care of
You making
yourself.
sure they eat and you ain't eating.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And mothers, that's just motherhood, I think, because that's the exact same thing that my mother would do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Doctor, that's what you would have done with your children, is that
Exactly.
you want to make sure that they have.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Now, if another woman comes in the picture, that natural born isn't there. Then over time, they may grow to love your child. They may grow to want to take care, but it's different when it's yours.
Yes.
And we could say, oh well, I love you like your mother love you. Yeah, we say them type things, but we all know different.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We all know different. So when she said that to me and she explained it, and then she said, and there's certain things that you wouldn't even think about, that you would just do
Yes.
for yours.
Yes.
And she was in a blended relationship, and she saw things like, okay, this man is doing a little bit more for his children than he doing for mine.
Wow.
So her mindset was, okay then, well, I can't let my child suffer.
Yes. Yes.
So I gotta do a little bit for my more for my child
Mm-hmm.
than to try to bring that balance.
Wow.
But that right there is a whole different dynamic, dog, in
Yes.
that relationship.
And listening to you, do you think, Doctor, there can be a bonding with the new step family, the mother, the new mother, the new father? Can they then bond with these children that they are inheriting through the relationship? And
Yes.
also, can there ever be unity among them, whereby they go beyond the fact this is my child, so I'm going to do a little extra? Do you think the relationship can be to that point? See, because if we start out with that mentality, oh, I see he's doing for his child, and then we're going to start doing likewise, there will never be unity, because in the back of your mind, you will always be thinking, if I'm not here to take care of my child, I believe she or he is not going to do that.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
how do you think then the family can go beyond that point of feeling insecure with each other, even though that relationship may be going well, but the children is part of it is not?
Boy, Doc, that's a hard question. It's a hard, um, the way I would say is to just be truthful.
Hmm.
And what I mean by that, husband, wife, this is what we want to do. Y- Let me use me as an example.
Hmm.
Let's say, God forbid, anything happened to Tanya and I find myself in this situation. It would be a conversation of, well, to the woman, let's say the woman, I meet a woman now, and she has children, and we get together. My conversation with the children would be along the lines of, I can never be your biological father. Just be real, and nor will I ever try to be. I
Hmm.
can only be Alvin, and Alvin will do his best as lie in Alvin to help you. I think that is a more of a better approach than I is your daddy now. Because in the back of that child's mind, you're my daddy. And who are you to ever come here to tell me that you's my daddy? Because my daddy is John from down the road.
Yes.
So the conversation now, Doc, needs to be not that I want you to forget who your daddy is. I's the new daddy. The conversation is no, don't forget him. Honor him. Know who your father is.
Right.
But now I'm in the picture, and I'm going to do my best to provide. And you have to set. You have to set the parameters, because if you
Yes.
don't, it could easy run off the course. This
Right.
train can easily run off the course. And then too, there must be a conversation between the man and the woman. What is my expectation here? Because I have seen, Doc, I have counseled, I have helped persons where, oh, he put his hand on my child. He can't talk to my child rough. He can't do it because Dinah, well, hold it out. If you want him to come in and provide for the child, to know why he can't be want to help the discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those conversations need to be had, and they need to be clear as to what is your role, what is my role, what is the role of the child, and the child has to be in that conversation at some point.
Wow. So you were saying then that in order for that unity to take place in that family, they have to now, or for example, usually you would find the wife is really upset. He's being a bit too harsh on my
Mhm,
child, right?
mhm.
So if they can come together and agree that this is how we're going to raise the children, and yes, he may be firm because women tend to, we can
Be
be
more
harsh,
nurturers.
we're
Yeah.
more nurturers. We can be harsh with them, but at the same time, we will, see the dad can't treat them a certain way, and he's very rough, and we can try to tell him pull back. But
Uh-huh.
if he is not mistreating any of those children, she needs to let him be the father.
Yes.
If he doesn't have that ability to scold or maybe punish one of those children, then that union will always have a problem.
Hmm,
Will
hmm.
always have a problem because she is going to feel some kind of way. But the first thing is to bring unity among themselves and sit down and decide what we want to see.
Hmm.
Or, Doc, I believe we could allow one parent to parent. The other is there. What I mean is let mom be the one. She deal with all of the children. Now, if she is not doing her part, then father steps in. But you would find the dad will say, "Okay, did you go to your mommy? Did you talk to your
Hmm.
mommy? And if you come, if I, and this, I'm talking from experience.
Yes.
When I have to deal with my children, and if I go to my husband and say, "Well, look, they have done this today. They've been rude," then the next question is, "What did you do?"
Uh-huh.
So for the big part, if both of them come together, let's okay, I'll allow you to deal with the children. Anything that is beyond yourself, what you can do, then I step in, right?
Hmm,
Some of that can help, right?
hmm.
But the presence of the father has to still be involved. And
Hmm,
he can sit and talk, but it's always mother who's punishing. It's always
hmm.
mother. And that is for a reason. If father is not there, you will listen to mom. And
Hmm.
I've heard this talk from an elderly lady. I heard that from an elderly lady when I was in my early stage of marriage. Her husband allowed her to reprimand the children, to, to do everything with them. If he had to step in the picture, it was not going to be pretty.
Yes.
At the same time, they had a level of respect for mom. Don't play with her either if dad is not
Hmm,
here.
hmm.
So when we look at blended family, you can take it in that way. One parent deal with all of that. So when it gets beyond her control, then daddy steps in.
Hmm.
Doesn't mean that daddy sees something going on and he doesn't say anything. No,
Yeah.
doesn't mean that he has to be actively involved. But when it comes to punishment and so forth, mom is going to deal with it. And that's specifically for a purpose,
Hmm.
right?
But
Because,
Doc,
mhm.
no, 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 go on, go on.
Yeah, because, because especially if you're bringing in a blended family
Hmm.
and that child feel that, oh, you're the mother, you don't have no say in my life. You can't say anything to me. If
mhm,
he wants to now reinforce and to let them know that she also has a part to play in your life,
mhm,
that will help to bring them together.
mhm. And a dog, it also depends on the ages of these children when you're bringing them together.
Exactly.
Because the smaller they are, the easier it is for them to adopt to the new person,
Right.
to cling to the new person. But the older they get, and the child or the children have already developed their personality and their character. Um, Now bringing in somebody else, then you would hear stuff like, "Oh, you ain't my daddy. You ain't my real daddy, or you ain't my real mommy. You can't tell me what to do." And all of those, there are attitudes that will have to be overcome.
Yes.
And two, when I talk to persons, I'm like, when a child would say to an adult that you are not my mommy or you are not my daddy, that adult needs to step back and let the parent
Right.
correct them and say,
Exactly.
"Listen, even
Exactly.
though he may not be your biological daddy, he taking care of you,
Mm-hmm.
and I give him rights to discipline you accordingly."
Yes. Yes.
If that never happens, you will have a rebellious child
Yes.
for a very long time. Because
Mm-hmm.
because if that child has already developed attitudes of, well, I gotta listen to my mommy, I gotta listen to my daddy.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is no longer there. If the next one don't stand and say, "Listen, I have brought John in this picture now. John has the right to discipline you." So that authority figure who's in that child's life must say, "These are other people who are authority figures." If that doesn't happen, it's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be friction. Be, be like me, dog. If I can't discipline your child,
Mm-hmm.
then I ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
I can step away.
Mm-hmm.
And that stepping away may make you then feel like, "Oh well, you don't love my child." No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. I gotta deal with the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas I may pick up my children and say we going to the movie, but why you taking a Sally? Because I can't
Mm-hmm.
tell Sally nothing. And
Ah.
be around me if I can't tell her where she could sit and where she can't sit. Because
Mm-hmm.
children can be children.
Yeah. See.
And Sally
Mm-hmm.
can't be no adult around me. So
Mm-hmm.
if I can't do A, B, C, D, E, F, G with her, then you let Charlie stay with you.
Right.
So all of that then must be discussed. That's what I said at the get-go. It must be discussed before you even get into that. Like
Yes.
I counseled this couple, and they were getting married, and they're talking about all this lovey-dovey thing. And I said to the lady, I said, "You know this guy has children, right?" She's like, "Yes." I said, "Okay. This this guy, mind you, this was his first marriage.
Mm-hmm.
This guy had about 5 children
Whoa. Okay.
by 5 different women."
Ooh.
And I said, you know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
That some of his money got to go to 5 different houses because he got 5 children to take care of.
That's right.
That's five other person's pocket, a hand in your pocket.
Mm.
Are you willing to deal with that? Could you handle that? And all
Good.
of that type of stuff. And then if something were to happen with one of those 5 children's mother, he got to be daddy and take that child in.
That's right.
Are you willing to deal with that? Because
Good
it
point.
can't just be you and you and his children.
No.
Because
No.
they children, they're his too. And all of that stuff, all of that conflict, that's going to be conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And boy,
That's a good example, Doc, of what it looks like. Because if she doesn't care, Usually you would see in relationship like that, she doesn't care because they are not her children
Uh-huh.
and they are not in her house. But
Yeah.
you raise a good point because they may not be in your house, but that man has to take care of his children.
Yes.
And in
Yes.
the event something goes wrong with their mother, he
He
has
has to step
to,
up.
to step up to the plate and take care of the child. The
Hmm.
problem is these women want the man, but they don't want the children.
Yes.
And we
Yes.
have a lot of problem with what we call stepmothers. They
Uh-huh.
they may want to, mistreat the child because that's not their own, or they, don't care about them. But if you take the man, you got to take the children.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is why communication prior to is necessary,
It's
because
key.
it is key. If
Hmm.
you realize that he has 5 children, are you willing now, in the event you have to take these children in, will you be their mother?
Hmm. Hmm.
Doc, this is such a heavy topic because
Hmm.
we see it happening every day. And
Every day.
who stands to be affected but the children?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because they're feeling rejected. My or my mother doesn't want me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because you see they have to now take care of themselves as a couple, as a married couple. So
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
dealing with two situations: keeping unity in your marriage, dealing with these children.
And then, Doc, it ain't just dealing with the children; it's dealing with the children mother.
And the ex. And that's where,
because
yes,
some of them don't mean you or that marriage or that union any good. They
yes,
the reason why they had that child for the man, some of them, because they wanted that man and they thought that the child would have been able to anchor that man, but it
yes,
did not happen. Now
yes.
you anchoring him, they still fighting for that man,
I'm
and
still
then
fighting.
they can make hell because now when the man go over to the house to see the baby, I've seen it. Oh well, the baby inside the room, but could you come kiss me? Could you come? I married now. I
Yeah,
this now, and all of that stuff. So there is so much, dog. You can put your hand on your head because that's a whole different dynamic. Oh Lord. But
yes,
you have to be really, really strong to get through a blended family. The
yes.
challenges are enormous.
It's enormous. Because when you mentioned about the ex-partner,
Mhm.
the interference from that ex-partner,
Yes.
that mother, stepmother, or the dad may be trying now their best to pull that child in as their own, but the
Uh-huh.
interference will come from the ex-partner
Yeah.
who may not want that child to take to you. So what
Yes.
they will do is send messages with the children. This is nothing easy, but I believe we can work through it.
Uh-huh.
And it depends on the age of the children. If it's a young child, um, before the age of 5 years old, you can kind of pull that child in and bond with that child and
Mhm.
show them. And one of the things is never speak evil about their mother, right?
Mhm.
The child is, if you train that child is wise enough to see who is wrong and
Yeah.
who's giving bad advice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you have the ones that are a little older that you would have to work a little harder with. And then I wonder, Doc, with the ones that are in their teen, those that age bracket, and the older ones,
Mhm.
who can be worse?
Whew.
Because if you have the older ones, they tend to not want mom or dad to marry somebody else, and they're
Mhm.
able now to speak for themselves. But this is where parents have to let them know this is my life. I have
Mhm.
to make a choice. Now I'm talking about the ones that are quite on their own. They're not
Yeah.
teenagers. They're totally independent, right?
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
That the parents can work that one out. That one is not a difficult one
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because at the end of the day, you have to live for you. But
Yeah.
now, when you have the teenagers, they the ones that you may have a little extra fight with too. you know. But the first thing is even talk with the ex partner, Dr. Alvin. And I would encourage both parties, husband and wife, talk to the ex, let them know this is how we plan, this is what we want in our home. We know you're bringing them from another relationship, but this is how we're going to govern our home. So that ex would respect what you're trying to do
Mhm.
and not give bad advice to the child. So the
Mhm.
child comes home, you talk to the child, and the child will sit up and say, I'm not doing it because my mommy tell me I don't have to do it. You don't want that kind of attitude in the family. So
Mhm.
have that conversation with that ex partner if they
Mhm.
are willing.
I
If
agree.
if they are willing. And
Mhm.
other than that, it simply means you may have to work that much harder with that teenager to show them that you really love them, you care for them as a parent, as their new parent, but there are certain things you expect from them.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that doc would have to be a constant with that those children.
Yeah. And it must be um the two of us speak with one voice.
Yes, by all
And
means.
and just like that, that should be the same in a nuclear family where there is no blended family. It
Yes.
should be the same and more in
Hmm.
a in a in a blended family. Because if I now go to my mommy and I say, "Mommy, um, your husband gave Johnny and Susie, who are his children, gave them two candy but only gave me one." And her response to be is, "See that? He always just taking that for his children. Don't worry, mommy got you covered. I can go get another one for you."
Wow.
Right there, right there, I know now, okay, I in with mommy.
Hmm.
Mommy can fight for me.
Yes, yes.
So I even got to check and I even can respect this man because this man, he ain't checking for me. He checking for his children.
Hmm.
But if mommy would have said, "Well, why? No, I don't think it's like that.
Yeah.
Don't no, don't take that like that. But let me have a talk and we'll fix that problem."
Yes. Yes.
Then now I realize, boy, uh, I ain't got nothing to hold on to.
Right.
So they have to speak with one voice.
One voice.
And and if we decide that we going on vacation, then we take all either we take all our children or we don't take any.
Or don't take any. That's right.
So
It
all of
is
those things, so that the person who's out there listening to us, if you if you're wondering about getting involved in a blended family, can you handle it? Can you
exactly.
handle your your loved one saying, "Well, I'm going to meet with my children's father or I'm going to meet with my children's mother."
Hmm.
Now, if you are the jealous type, that's going to be a problem
Problems. Yeah.
because not every time your partner goes to pick up the children or to drop off the children or to go visit them at the other house are you going to be there.
That's right. That is so true.
And you don't want to be in a relationship where you can't trust your partner.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's a whole different. So if you can't handle that, don't catch yourself and say, "Let me go try it out."
No.
Be because the end result you can mess it up. You can mess up.
Yeah. It's not as
Yeah.
easy as it seems. And then
No, don't.
you have some of the women, doc, they would take over going to meet the ex on behalf of their spouse or vice versa.
Yeah.
But even that you will get tired of.
Uh-huh.
You can't keep it up. So I love the fact that you're posing the question to our audience. Is that something you can handle? If
Yeah.
you're not ready for it, then you need to really consider if you want to go into that relationship.
Uh-huh.
Blended family can be beautiful if you work it together, you sit down and have that conversation. You don't allow it to get to fester.
Uh-huh.
For example, if the child come and say, "I only got one candy," they got two. You don't say that in the front of that child. Oh, I know he don't care about you. Don't even if you think it, you don't say it. You
Yeah.
have that conversation between you and your spouse, and then try to figure out, work it out. And it's just that you have to be a little extra careful,
Yeah. Yeah.
extra careful, and you just have to do some things that they would see and believe that you treat them the same way as you treat your other children.
Hmm.
Some
And it's
people,
the same thing. It's the same thing, Doc,
mhm,
as if God forbid, I walk outside and I break my hand. If I break my hand or break my leg, I then put extra care on that.
that's right.
I buy crutches for that.
Hmm.
Um, if you come and walk by, I can try to protect my leg, even though you even ain't check in.
Yes.
I put extra care there, and that's how it have to go until until that bond is
Trust
formed,
on. Yeah.
until that trust is built. You can
Yeah.
have to move very carefully.
Yes. Tread softly.
Yeah. So you can't walk into the relationship and say, "I's the man now. Y'all gotta just do what I say.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I's your daddy now." Oh no, you ain't my daddy. We
Yeah.
just buried my daddy last month or last year. You ain't
Mm.
my dad, and I still grieving over my daddy. Don't come around here talking, but you is my daddy.
Mm. And I
Or
think,
yeah, go on, Doc. Go on.
sorry for cutting you, but I think people need to be educated when dealing with children in that manner.
Yes,
If that
yes,
child didn't get the grief counseling, if and it's even if the parent are alive, though, they still
yes,
should be dealt with. Go through that grief process or the
yes,
trauma, because you may not see it while that child is small. You may see it because that child will be. You'll see that child acting out in some ways that you never thought possible.
yeah,
But
yeah,
unless you deal with that grief and trauma that that child is experiencing, it could get worse. And
yes,
imagine you coming in selling that child who already didn't like the fact that their parents are not together. You're telling them,
uh-huh,
"I'm your new daddy," or "I'm your new mommy." What do you think? What do you think you're going to get from that child? Rejection.
mm-hmm,
They do not accept you.
mm-hmm,
So for those persons in blended family, you have to take your time, like you say, Doc. Protect that foot from anyone trampling on it, even
yeah,
though you know they are far from it. You still protecting it.
yes, yes,
So
yeah,
it has to
yeah,
be. It's a gradual process.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that is what I was saying. All of it too depends on the age of the child, the
Exactly.
circumstance as to which that child no longer has one of the parent. Now this new one is just coming in. All of that has to be dealt with. Even where when it is, I never knew who my father was, but there's a part of us, Doc, that is always like, I I wonder who my daddy is, or I wonder
Yeah.
who my real mother is. And now you coming in, well, you want to tell me to downplay that feeling, that natural
Yeah.
feeling, and just
Yeah.
move on and accept you. No, it doesn't work like that.
No.
It can't
No.
work like that.
No.
What has to happen is there must be a gradual warming up to, a gradual acceptance. Let me grow. Let us grow together.
Yes.
So hang around and let me see that you have the stickability. There's
Yeah.
somebody that I can lean on, somebody I could trust. And like we
Yeah.
just used the analogy of the broken leg. You don't just pick up crutches and use it. When you get the
Mm-mm.
crutches, you test it to make sure it can carry your weight. That is
That's right.
that is something that you could trust.
That's
And
right.
that's what has to happen. If that never happens, Doc, you can forget it. Um,
Forget.
um,
Yeah.
there will never be total unity.
Yes.
There may be an appearance of unity, but
Hmm.
total unity, no,
No. And
no.
then, Doc, it put a strain on the relationship. husband
Yeah.
and wife. It put a
Yeah.
strain because there's always that tension, that it's always
Uh-huh.
that doubt in the back of my mind. How is he or she treating my child,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
that and that can also work against a relationship, a husband and wife. That will work against you. So
Because
the
Doc, if you reject my child, you reject me.
exactly, exactly.
So
And
how
if you
you tell me you love me and you want to be with me, but you rejected my me. You rejected my children.
yeah, yeah. And two, another thing too, Doc, what about someone who do not understand the trauma, the grief that that child may go through when another their mom and their dad is no longer together? But you would see, and one spouse would see the child acting in a way that is not favorable.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this child is just rude. This child just need a good beating. This child just need no. You got to understand what is going through this child. This child is now trying to process all of this, don't know how to do it, don't know who to trust. But if you have a partner that doesn't understand that this child has come out of a relationship that they trust, their father, their mother, and
Uh-huh.
it's no longer that, you have to understand that that child is going through something. And I think this is the part that is often overlooked. Of they feel the child is just being rude, whereas you may have some of that mixed with it. But there are times that child have to try process all that is now happening.
Mm-hmm.
I once had a happy family. I had my dad, I had my mom. Now I'm in another
Mm-hmm.
family, and this man or this woman is saying they are now my mother or my father. How could this
Mm-hmm.
be,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is some of the things that is going on around the world.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to help these children. First and foremost, if you are in a blended family and you are hoping to see things work out, you have to sit, communicate. You have to determine what will be your style of discipline, what will be your parenting style. How are we going to work this together? Determine all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I feel that the next thing is you have to help that child
Yeah.
keep your relationship in good order, but help that child.
Mm-hmm.
Because chances are that your relationship with your spouse is already still in good condition. But the strain happens when you have to deal with a child that is still traumatized. So if you begin to work on that child, be patient with that child, show love to that
Mm-hmm.
child, give them the opportunity to talk. Because we have some wicked mothers and mothers, stepmothers stuff. Sad to say. And same could be with the father. I'm putting all to the female. You could have a wicked stepmother. You could have a wicked
Mm-hmm.
stepfather. And
Yeah.
and and you what they have to realize, it may not be your child, but you love them, it's like it's your child. If you love your spouse, this is the blood from that spouse. This is that spouse, a part of that spouse. So if you say you love your spouse, you should love my child,
Yeah.
you know.
So true, Doc. So true.
And it
You can
depends on
continue.
it depends on the parents. How do you want this relationship to be? How do you want us to raise these children, right? While it may not be easy, are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to walk the walk
Mm-hmm.
with my child and your child and treat all of them the same? You know, for me, with my
Yeah.
children, same father, same mother. One of the things I found, children can be packs in two, right? Because when they were small, the two of my kids, they were small, around the same two, I think a year or two, a year and a half between the two. If I purchase anything for them, I have to buy the same for the other one. Or I couldn't
Oh
buy for one
wow.
and didn't buy for the
I
other.
don't buy from that. Mhm. Same thing here.
Yeah.
And they
And
compare.
they compare, right? So to prevent the comparison and to prevent the confusion, I bought them the same thing. Only thing, it may be a different color. And I did
Oh
that for a
wow.
purpose. I did that for a purpose, right? And then as they got older, then I would explain to them why this one happened, you ain't have the same thing, you know. So children
Yeah.
can
Because you don't
tap.
have asthma. What you need that for? You don't need no asthmatic pump. Why you want an
Yeah,
asthmatic pump and you don't have asthma? Come on.
yeah.
And
And you
and
just
and doctor,
mhm,
that is one of the things that even in nuclear families, um, there is this rivalry between siblings as to you may be mommy's favorite, you may be daddy's favorite. So
mhm.
if that is between brothers and sisters who have the same mother and father, you can imagine the level that is when there is a blended family,
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
and that can bring division,
It can.
major division.
But it's only a matter of sitting and talking to the children too, because they're one of the things I never allow my kids to do. If they come home from school or wherever and they said, Mommy, I want this. And I would ask them, why do you want that? And they would say, well, this one have it. I said, no, you don't want it. You don't need it. If you only want it because you see someone else have it, forget it. I'm not. And I make it known to them, right? So you just have to know how to train your child, how to show them. And then you and your spouse have a conversation at the end of the day. This is what happened. How do you think I should have handled it? What should I have done? And you
Yeah,
would find things can begin to take shape, and it can work. But that's the beauty of the blended family. It's the beauty. It has its challenges, but can also be a beautiful relationship if we work it right.
yes,
The
yeah.
mere fact that they
Oh,
came from two
it
different
could
homes,
work.
it can work. And
Hmm.
the fact that they may have come out of a different home, each the husband and the wife, they come from a different sides.
Hmm.
The style of parenting, that's key. He may be more laid back with the children. She may be one that you got to do this. You have to do your homework. And she may seem like a task master, right?
Yeah.
But look, let's come together. Let's talk. Let's show why you feel this is the way for them to go.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Sit and find, see why.
Hmm.
And you would appreciate it in the
Yeah.
days to come. You can't just allow them to be wild. You see what happens when you have bush that grows up wild?
All over the place.
It's all over the place, and it's hard to catch it because
Hmm.
it's just going, going, going. So if one is more laid back than the one that is, able to parent with, with love, but you know, a firm hand, I should say, then
Hmm.
allow that parenting style to take place. You
Yeah.
determine the parenting style you want.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
you want to see your children.
Yeah. Yeah. And a dog, it's already a challenge doing it with your children. Imagine somebody else's own.
Somebody else's children. But it
Yeah.
has to be, Doc, it has to be love. And like I say, if you love that woman, if you love that man, you should love their children. That child is coming in with the dynamics from another woman or another man. But if you show them love, you train them, they will know good treatment.
Yeah.
They will obey you. They will obey you. It may be
Hmm.
rough going initially, but eventually, when they see your heart, and even though you may tell them, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, they will understand you care about me, why you didn't allow me to do some things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and children can be very manipulative where they use the circumstances or try to use the circumstances to their advantage.
Yes.
So this is why what we said at the outset is it could work, but there must be constant communication between the husband and his wife
Hmm.
as to how we gonna make this work.
Yes. And to our listening audience, we're dealing with the blended family challenges. And We want you to join in with our conversation. If you have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, please send us a link, a WhatsApp. You can send us a WhatsApp, a X
Mhm.
to Lovely Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. We would be
Mhm.
happy to talk on those topics. But today it's the blended family. And to the husband and wife that may be the enjoying the blended family. Maybe you want to share how you made it work. And that's just as good because we know it's not easy. It comes with its challenges, but it
Mhm.
can work and it can be such a beautiful relationship.
Yes,
Uh,
it can.
Doc, in some relationship, the blended children, each one opposite, they seem sometimes get along even better than those that are biological, you know. So it can work. It can work. But for the husband and the wife, don't allow this to separate your relationship. Work it, be patient with it,
Mhm.
and sit down and just have that conversation, and it will work. It cannot work by itself, Dr. Alvin.
No,
You
no.
cannot, you cannot lay down and play dead. You see some things happening. You cannot lay and play dead and
Mm-mm.
expect for change to happen. Change will only happen when you make it happen.
So true. Powerful words, Doc. And
Mhm.
you have to be a active participator um, in this blended family to make that work.
Yes,
If only one person working, you could forget it.
yes.
It has to be the parent, the adopted parent, and the child. You got to work together. And if there's other children in the house, you even got to include them in the house. Where you say you don't tease your big sister because she don't know who a daddy is. I's a daddy.
Mm. Wow, that can be cool.
So you have to stand up for them.
Hmm.
Um, so that when they go and do what they have to do, they know daddy and mommy have their back.
So, Doc, you just sparked something to me just now when you said that. I also believe, I really believe that the children, if they are in their teenage years, the one of the things you can do is have family time where you sit and you talk as a family and you find out what is it you know you may not like, how did you deal with situation among yourselves, and that is to get them to bond as well. That will cause them to bond because you're sitting there, you're finding out what is it you dislike, how I acted with you, how I treated you, and then maybe tell me how you would prefer to be treated, and just these little simple things, and it can be made in a fun way, not a way that you feel compelled and you angry at what. No, you sit and you talk. I didn't like this, but I wish you would do this, and be respectful of each other. Get those kids to
Yes.
understand this is sister, this is brother. We now have to live together in one house.
Mhm.
We have to eat the same food. We have to sleep in the same bed, but we have to become one. And we can only do that if we have these moments of sitting down and talking with each other. So communication for me
Yeah.
doesn't only come
Yeah.
with husband and wife, it comes even among the children. Now the ones that are off age, doc, we can't control them. We can talk to them,
Mhm.
but they make their own decision,
Yeah.
right? But the ones that are dependent and that are in the home, we as the parent should be able to find a way to get them on the right track. Yeah. Um,
So true.
my mother had died. My mom
Mhm.
grew up in a blended family, and sometimes, as I've said, sometimes the step parents may not be as caring with the children. But I would want to say to those parents that are step parents to their husband's children or whatever. Love those children, treat them. Sometimes these parents may treat the children in the wrong way and feel, oh, he's not there, he's not going to believe them. But one thing we must always remember, he doesn't have to see, or she doesn't have to see. But Alvin, we do things in life, and it says what goes around, it comes around. So
Yes. Yeah.
for those parents that are maybe mean to some of these children that they're raising as stepchildren, no one may see you, but trust me, and what you would have done to somebody else, it comes back to your own. So I would encourage these parents that are being mean to children, be nice to these children. Whatever you do for those children, someone will do for your children. And as husband and wife, you want to have a beautiful relationship. And that relationship can only be beautiful if you make it beautiful. Doc, we're running
Yes.
out of time, but we can go on. I don't know if what you would like to say to someone that is now in a blended family and finding that this thing isn't working for me. I'm tired. I can't put up with this. Doc, what can you say to those persons?
Listen, the best thing, and I say this all the time, if you are in a situation that is unbearable, that you can't think your way out, stop, step back, and regroup. You then need, as an individual, to step back and say, okay, what is my goal? What is my purpose for being here in this relationship? What's my intentions? What's lacking? And then you need to have a conversation with your spouse as to, this is what's going on, this is how I'm feeling, this is not working for me, blah 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 blah, whatever it is, and it's not working, because I can't talk to your children because you didn't tell me, don't talk to your children, don't discipline your children, and I can't live like that. Doc, if we can't live in our house in peace, keep the house, I going someplace else.
Wow, so true.
Because our peace, boy, we have to fight to keep our peace.
You have to.
You have to fight to keep your peace, and say to your partner, listen, I love you, I here for you. But it's just this, if we don't work on this blended family, if we
Mhm.
don't work with the fact of your 13-year-old daughter is very rude and disrespectful to me. She
Mhm.
gets up in the morning, she don't speak to me. I drop her to school. She don't even say thanks when I give her lunch money. Whenever I go to try to say anything to her, you ain't my daddy, and
Mhm.
she ignore me. No, 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 no. If we gonna live together, you gotta go deal with that.
Yes, yes. And doc, the sooner that parent of that child corrects that child's behavior, the sooner you will see a change in your relationship. Because
Yes.
children are testing the parents. Let me
Uh-huh.
see how far I can go with this.
Yeah.
But when you give them a culture shock, look here, this is my husband. This is now your dad. He takes care of us. So you treat him with respect, then you will see a difference. You will see a difference. But if that
Yeah.
mother keeps, allowing
Token.
that child, yeah, then you're gonna get just that. you know.
Hmm.
So you have to give them a shock sometime. Let them know, look, this is where what it's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how we're going to have to work it. You got to show her
Hmm.
respect. You got to show him respect because
Hmm.
we are now one.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like you want someone to respect you, you respect them.
Hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it is a beautiful life if you make it beautiful. It comes with its
Yeah.
challenges, but it doesn't have to stay that way. Make it beautiful. But it has to be intentional, though. If
Yes.
there is no intentionality, then
Forget it.
anything goes.
Yeah.
It's not going
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
true.
So you wake up in the morning, you realize you're not dealing with your you have a blended family now. You're going to go the extra mile for those
Mm.
kids that are not yours.
Yeah.
But at
Yeah.
the same time, you're not neglecting your own. So
So
you got to
true.
work. You have to work it and let them see it. So we're not out of content, but we're out of time. So we will see you
Yes.
next
Wow.
week with another provocative topic.
Thanks for joining. Blessings.
Thank you. Yes.
Good show, Doc.